Good afternoon. So under the camera you see a pencil drawing, a concept drawing of a sugar skull, something that might be used in the celebration of the Mexican holiday Dia de los Muertos, and coming up on Hispanic American Heritage Month, this is kind of a fun thing to take over and do in the art classroom. I don't think I'm going to have you do a large drawing of your skull. I think I'm going to have you once again do some smaller drawings. Remembering how we call these smaller drawings thumbnail sketches, you divide your paper up vertically and horizontally. You have 4 equally sized rectangles in here. For 30 points, you only need to do 3 of these. And you can see I've already done 1 thumbnail sketch of an idea for my sugar skull, all right? Very decorative and very simplified. This is not what a real human skull looks like, right? Human skull might look a little bit more like that, but we're not interested in doing it exactly like we see it. We're having more fun stylizing, exaggerating, ornamenting, that kind of thing. Now, you see I've made a list here of some ideas to decorate my sugar skulls with, and these all are symbols, and they relate to ideas of both life and death. Flowers, leaves, vines, fruit, all living things, but of course flowers and fruit especially fleeting. They don't last for very long and then they go away. Food generally is a great thing to use in representing life because we enjoy feasting and celebrating together. Music, maybe musical instruments, maybe musical notes. Stars, sun, moon, celestial things that mark the passages of our days and months and years. Butterflies, birds, and oddly enough, worms. Butterflies in some cultures represent spirits. Birds oftentimes do the same thing. Worms, on the other hand, not so much spirits, but just a reminder that you will one day be food for the worms, okay? Flames and smoke and candles can all be thought of as representing life or death, and the candle, short and burned to its end, again, a symbol of life's short existence. The clock, the hands of the clock, an hourglass, if you know what that is. I didn't put it in here, but it's another way of measuring time. The flow of water, pathways, any kind of pathway going or coming, doors, windows, passages from here to there, from now to then, from life to death. Sun, moon, we already mentioned. Berries kind of go along with flowers, leaves, and arabesques. Arabesques are just shapes like these. So what I'm going to do is take a circle and a square or a rectangle, and let's see about giving that a nice, bright, happy smile, which is kind of fun to think about, death smiling. And I'm going to go down here. Now that could be the beginning of my very simple skull. I could, if I want to, right here, make this edge pop out. And the reason why is you have a bone, that's your cheekbone right there, that pops out and gives the middle portion of your skull a very distinctive look. You have eye sockets, and I'm going to draw lightly, only because I probably won't draw them like this. And you have a nasal septum, and they kind of look like this when you don't have any skin on your face. And then you have a top and a bottom jaw. I can divide the jaws, top and bottom, with vertical lines that help me identify the teeth. But let's do some substitution here because this is not a very inventive looking skull, is it? I hope you can see those lighter lines of mine. What if I go ahead and, let's see, well, I turn this one into a star. What if I turn this one into a moon? Now, it could just be a regular old eye socket like this one here, okay, something like that. Or I can have fun with the moon, and maybe I'm going to go ahead in here, and maybe this is rain, or maybe this is just a decorative element, rain coming off the moon. And here I have the nasal septum. What if I turn that into a heart? It doesn't mean that you have to. It just means I don't want to present things to my audience that are ordinary and that don't require a little thought on my part. I'm hoping that they require some thought on the audience's part too. Having fun with this small little dot right there, I'm going to turn that into a flower. You notice how those lines that radiate from the middle give me a basis on which to draw my petals. So there's the nasal septum. Let's see what I'm going to do here. Let's go ahead and make the teeth a little somewhat realistic by making them arched up and over. Let's do the same thing down here. I like the pattern the teeth set up. Wouldn't it be kind of fun in your final if one of these was gold or knocked out? Okay. And let's see, what else can we do? Well, let's look at our list. How about I go ahead and do some musical notes? Well, I did use a heart here. I'm going to use the heart again and repeat that motif. I'm going to go ahead and use some arabesques here and here. That's just some filler, but I like it. Okay, very decorative, very fun. You can imagine bright colors being used in these too. And what if I did some musical notes? You know, music is like life, here and gone again. We enjoy it, we dance to it, we appreciate it, and it's very quickly gone. It requires time for us, and time, of course, is what we're talking about, the passage of time. There's musical notes. What else might I do down here? A butterfly. Now this is kind of going down off of the skull, but I might put a butterfly there, a butterfly there. Might be kind of fun to do a bee or a dragonfly instead of a butterfly. I don't know why. What else can I do? Let's go ahead. I'm going to put some stripes on these teeth and use them for a decorative effect. These are just plain old stripes. They can be multicolors in your final, okay? And maybe over here on these bones jutting out, these cheekbones, maybe I'll just go ahead. Those could be leaves, those could be the petals of a flower, I don't know. So do I like this one any better than that one? Not really, but there are some nice things going on here that I hadn't thought about doing over there. If you ever want to go back over your line work with marker to make some corrections, additions, you can, but pencil for a thumbnail sketch is just fine. Let me go ahead and finish up this last one down here. Again, it's a pretty basic configuration of a circle and maybe a square or a rectangle. Always that grinning smile. What if I go ahead and do, oh, there's that cheekbone. I'm going to swing that out there like that. You can see this silhouette's going to be a little bit different. You don't have to make it even either. Maybe these are the teeth. Having fun with those. Nice big broad smile there. Make sure I put those in there. What if I do, I'm going to do just a typical little nose here. Notice how I leave all this space. Use these ovals for the eyes. Here's what I'm going to do again. You saw me do something like this once before. Let me cross through, cross through, cross through. See how I just divide things in half? And then I'm going to make another circle right here. And let's go ahead and make this into petals. And this one, I kind of like it the way it is. I'm going to darken it. I'm going to put a tear there, a tear there, a raised brow right there. And I'm going to come along this edge and just do some decorative line work right there. And I can take that idea of decorative line work and repeat it over here. And remembering that we can make use of space down here. And this probably needs to have a little attention drawn to it right there. Let's see. I'm just going to go around that with bands of color, I think. Like that. Maybe rainbow colors. Okay, so I'm not sure I like any one better than the others. Probably this one had more thought put into it. These I was just kind of rushing to demonstrate for you. You only have to do 3 thumbnails. This is the concept for your final sugar skull, which is highly decorative. So lots of surface design. You probably want to try to incorporate some symbolism because the skull by itself is highly symbolic, representing both life and death. When you stare at yourself in the mirror, remember, just beneath the skin, there's the skeleton staring back at you. Now, you try.